Hey everyone, CJ here, back with my third project for the December mixed media kit for Tres Jolie Kit Club, and I am working with the Stamperia old lace papers. I'll be using these three right here specifically, can't talk, specifically these three right here out of the line. The papers from my stash, the mixed media kit, you know, had just the collage mediums and the two sprays from Lindy's Gang, a brush for the mediums, and drywall, two types of drywall tape, which currently that had the kind with holes, and then this grid, and you will see why mine currently looks like that, because this is my second try at a third project. The first try, I thought I was doing okay, and I don't know, somehow it took a left-hand turn, and it was just not going to happen in any way, shape, or form. So I'm going to show you right now a really sped up section of what I was originally planning to do. Okay, yeah, that was going to be like a pencil box. It was going to try to make it look like a treasure chest. It just wasn't happening. I gave up. So what I did instead is I pulled it apart. And I took off the top layer, like here. You know, basically what remains of it is these pieces. So I took off the top part, or the top layer, that had the mediums and the tapes, and I cut out all of these pieces. I used my tattered florals die, my weathered clock die, and my tattered pine cone die. Now the tattered pine cone die I am actually turning into a flower, not a pine cone, but it's being held right there, and but you can see that it is going to have some interesting little textures in there. So that's that part. And all of these pieces are going to be added to what I am doing with the Stamperia paper, which is using a cut file from SVG Cuts, and it is the Dressform cut file, because, well, when I was looking through papers that I could use with that, and when I came across my Stamperia pad, I was like, the colors are right, and then when I was looking at the pictures, you see they have corsets and dress forms on it, and that's what put me in mind of turning this project into something entirely different with some die cuts. So I'm not gonna show you the putting to, well, I'll do a fast of the build, because you can go to the SVG Cuts website and watch the official video on how to put together. Now I am going to cut out these, which are going to be for the panels. Well, this isn't. This is going to be my base for the stand, and this will be for the dress form part, the upper body. And these I'm going to fussy cut in between the different patterns falling around, and I'm going to try to wrap them in layers around the dress, or as like a skirt. We'll see how that goes. I've already started. I have just used some plain black cardstock for building the base. So I will speed up, super speed up the build, just to get it done. And after it's built, and after I have my panels put on, then I will come back and we can work on what to do with all the pieces. I have my parts, other parts of drawing, but I wanted to work out how I was going to do this skirt, which, given what I'm using, these were basically useless, but oh well. So I just I grabbed up a piece of just printer paper, and I got some Scotch tape, and then I wrapped it, and I freehand cut the edge so that I'd have something to go on, and I might just use it as an underlay for my strips, because I now know what it needs to look like, and I know that my strip's going to need kind of pleated, so I'm going to try to do that. And that is my first ruffle. I think that this, I'll just leave this underneath, probably, because it's working out relatively well as a template, because it will kind of be a half skirt. And it does seem to help hold things, and I think actually to really help my cause, I think I'm going to go take it to my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew these pleats down, and I'm going to sew it to this white paper, to the copy paper, and that'll make it, my theory is that will make it easier to work with. But let me me also do this and trim off that end. So I'm going to go sew along here and then I'll be back. No, I have my start. I just, it's not, I don't really, it's going to be kind of rusticy and vintagey, so being very pretty wasn't a requirement. I just wanted to make sure it stayed while I worked on the rest of my layers. And it may seem like I'm kind of building backwards, but for me, because it's so stiff and was being wrapped around this, I just found this way easier for now. I may think that this was a bad idea later, but for now I think it will work. I'm going to kind of try to trim up here, even though I don't think it's really going to be seen. And now I'm going to work out the rest of the layers, and they're going to be underneath. But I think I don't know if I need necessarily to pleat them as much. Let me see. And I don't. I think I can do it with this. They did the following layers aren't going to really need as much pleating to get them around. So I'll just keep doing this, layering these strips until I get the length I want around my template. Now that my glue is dried and well drying, and this is together, even though it's not necessarily perfect, I'm gonna have to make it pretty. I'm gonna have to figure out how to pretend it's perfect. I'm going to be wrapping this around like so, just on here. That's my first thing. And I have to figure out how to hold it in place. Let me see. There you go. Just a little narrow bit, like a 1/4 inch wide piece of gold ribbon. I think that will work. And so I'm going to set this here off to the side and let it dry. I don't know exactly. I know I want to use this. See, I have this bit of very, very wide gold lace, and I have been hoarding it for quite some time. I had actually got it in the July 2018 scrapbooking kit from Tres Jolie. So I've been hoarding it. That was like the second scrapbooking kit ever released. So I've been hoarding it. And all of a sudden I decided that looks like it would make a nice part of a wrap for the little skirt thingy that I think I'm making. That's where I'm at right now. I think it's being made into a skirt. And which end did I trim up? Trimmed up this end. That's the side. See, I trimmed up this side close so that it has that waterfally instead of a straight edge, since it would be like this. I should lay this down. Since it would be like this, but I'm not sure how much I'm going to be doing. I also have to work in all of my cut pieces. I'm going to let this dry. I have this exactly where I need it, and I'm afraid to try to do any more until it is dry. I really also kind of want to get my piece of clockwork put in here. Now it's drying. And after it's safe to touch again, I will be back. I have let the glue that I put down set some. Oh, it's sliding. It's trying to slide out. I'm glad I came back. And because of this, this is trying to come undone. Yeah, I can tap that. But I needed this kind of flattened out for the ribbon. Or for the lace, not ribbon, lace. There's this. I just have to, I haven't finished adhering it yet. At the end, I also need to get this up under this side. I don't know if I've mentioned this or this. I used the vintage collage medium on the Dressform after I had put it together. And right now I have to let this glue dry. Let me see, actually, if this is going to go here, it could go here now. I've decided I'm going to try to put on as many pieces as I can while it's wet, so I can let as much dry all together. There's no real reason. I have some matte super heavy gel that's almost empty. And when it's all the way gone, I'm just going to use my open bottle of gloss super heavy, just because it's already open. I don't know. It's all going to be hidden. So I don't... There we go, that one. I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. You can't see it. I just don't want to open my new container for hidden work. My gels. My gel is it's been drying overnight. It's dry. Well, maybe a little sticky. My room is cold, so it doesn't dry things fast. But I just wanted to show real quick. Well, it finished drying, because it will dry transparent when it does get there. But I wanted to show what I added. My flowers needed something, and I couldn't figure it out. And I wanted it to be gold to go with my lace. and I came across this vial of shaker bits that I had got from Tony in a swap, and they were sitting there just like this, and I said, that's what I need right there. So I dumped a few out, picked out some of the gold foam, I think they're foam underneath, glittery balls, and put them as my flower centers. I even managed to tuck one in under there just so it would match. And then I just used some Judykins diamond glaze to set them, and now I'm going to go set this in a safe place. Let everything finish drying. I hope that seeing how I went from one thought process that got derailed and turned it into a different project, it helps inspire you, helps you realize, or helps you think of other ways. Like, if a project doesn't go the way you want, you can always just take some die cuts to it and turn it into something else entirely. Although, as a note, personally, I wouldn't choose the destruction of a box method. I would just, use some cardstock. That'll make that easier. But I did what I had to do with what I had. Anyways, I hope that you found this project inspiring. I hope it gave you some ideas on what you can do with the kit this month. And thank you for joining us here at Tres Jolie, and we'll see you next month.